In 2024, we have a lot of options for how we listen to our music. A lot of people now are listening to streaming services like Apple Music and Spotify, but there's still a lot of people also who want to collect physical media and like formats like CDs and records. So today we're going to talk about some of the benefits of collecting vinyl records specifically and why 2024 is still a great time to collect vinyl records. So first of all, let's talk about sound quality. So obviously records have been around for a long time, and a lot of record collectors will tell you that they prefer the sound of records over other digital formats like CDs and streaming services and iTunes Music, stuff like that. So first of all, let's talk about sound quality. So records have been around for a long time, and collectors will tell you that records have a sound they prefer over other digital formats. And to many, this may sound crazy because of how fast technology advances and because of how much data that other media formats can hold, like CDs, for example. However, records are a unique media format in that they create a warm analog sound that you can't find on any other formats, and it's very hard to reproduce in another way. Records also have a more dynamic range and are closer to the sound of live music in a lot of people's opinions. To me, this mainly comes down to a preference, and there are some great technologies out there for digital music formats as well, but I believe the unique sound of records is a big selling point for them and a big reason they're still popular today. Second, records really have a strong culture associated with them. This rivals any other media format as well. Personally, I am most intrigued by the movie collecting culture, but I still have a huge appreciation for record stores and the culture surrounding them. I mean, like bookstores, record stores have become a popular place for people to hang out, meet other like-minded enthusiasts, buy and sell parts of their collection, and record stores are expanding now to have all kinds of other forms of media as well, ranging from movies to CDs to all kinds of things. And it's really expanded the whole physical media culture, which I think is great. And when enthusiasts go to stores like this, they're either looking for really sought after rare releases or good deals on some of the titles they're looking for. And some people just really enjoy the thrill of the hunt, so to speak, of looking for records they don't have in their collection yet. And I understand this just from me building my movie collection out, is there's something really enjoyable about going and searching for the physical media that you want and going on a search in the used market in these kind of stores for that. Not to mention how much the used market is thriving for vinyl records. I mean, collectors are buying and selling all of the time, and this is happening both in person and online. So we are even still seeing new albums getting released from modern artists on the vinyl record format, and artists are recognizing the increase in popularity of albums as well, and they want to put them out on the vinyl record format so that a younger generation can start collecting them as well, and that's very profitable for these artists too. So there's a lot of reasons that this culture has grown over time and new generations are becoming a part of it, but that is a big reason that physical media like records is still around today. And third, people really love the physical connection you get with collecting vinyl records. If you go on a streaming service on your phone, you're just tapping on the screen of your phone to start playing music, and there is no real physical experience with that, aside from holding your phone in your hand, maybe put on some headphones or something like that. But when you collect records, you get to actually pull the record out of the sleeve, put it on a turntable, and drop the needle. And that's a very tactile, analog experience that some people really like. And you get to store and display your records you have in your collection. And there's something to be said about that. When with all these physical media formats like movies and CDs and everything else too, is people get a lot of enjoyment out of not only searching for those and buying them, but also collecting them, storing them, displaying them. And in addition to that, records especially have really large cover art, which is really nice, and you can appreciate it a lot easier than you can a picture of an album cover on your phone or even in a CD jewel case, which is much smaller. And some records even come with big booklets in them in the sleeve, which is easier to appreciate than a small booklet in a jewel case for a CD as well. And so these are all advantages of collecting a physical media like records, and I could see how music fans want to have that experience with their favorite bands or artist music. So it makes a lot of sense to me, and I think this can be said about multiple formats, but it's especially true with vinyl records because of how big they are and how much there is to appreciate with this format compared to all these other physical media formats. And next I wanted to touch on the durability of records. So while the sleeves of records can wear out over time, they're susceptible to water damage and can be worn out over time, a lot of the vinyl records themselves can last a very long time if taken care of. I mean, there's people still have records from the 1930s in their collection that still play great and sound great. And it's awesome that we could have such an old format like this that's still being used today and where really old releases still work great. You know, I don't think CDs are going to hold up over time in the same way with the same durability that records have. And it's just really cool. I think it makes it just a cooler format because of not only how they look, but how they feel and how durable they are and just the whole experience with them. And so I think that's a benefit too. And now lastly, I wanted to touch on the financial aspect of collecting records. So a lot of people will say that it doesn't make sense to collect records anymore because of the increasing cost as more people start collecting them, and how certain titles are getting more rare and therefore more expensive to buy through online formats like eBay and stuff like that. But I still think it makes sense right now to collect records because there's plenty of records getting, new releases right now from modern artists, as I mentioned earlier, and there's still an incredible value in collecting records because even if you do get some of these expensive titles right now, they could still go up in price more over time if they're rare. And whenever you start collecting something like this that has a lot of demand, you could see the value of your collection go up over time, and we're seeing more and more places where you could potentially sell your records too. And if more and more people are getting into collecting these, then it's still going to, give you options if you wanted to sell them later on. And so I don't think that the increasing prices we're seeing in records right now are necessarily a reason to not collect them. I think if this is still a passion you have, there's still ways you could find deals on them, and it could still make sense to collect them because you're increasing the value of your own collection as well. I've seen this with other formats too. We've kind of seen how video games of some of the more retro video games are going up in cost a lot, and the consoles too, and they're still a lot of fun to collect and enjoy though. So I don't think cost should be prohibitive in building one of these collections out. It's just something you have to be aware of and do your research and finding the best deals possible, like with anything. So I think while, cost can be a deterrent for some people, it's still a great time to start collecting these. And on that same note, keep in mind that when you compare collecting something like records to using a music streaming services have a monthly cost associated with them where you have to pay every month just to have access to whatever music is on that service, and stuff can be taken off of that service anytime. Whereas once you buy a record or even a CD, you own that forever and you can listen to that as much as you want and no one can take that away from you, and you can build out your own library of music. Whereas the streaming services are constantly changing and being modified and could increase in price, and it'll cost you a lot more over time. So that's another financial benefit there. So in conclusion, while records are rising in both popularity and price in 2024, it's still a great time to start your own collection and enjoy one of the most popular music formats of all time. And if you enjoy this video, make sure you not only hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, but let me know in the comments if you're collecting records. And also check out the videos I have linked above where I talk about collecting physical media of other formats too. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.